I love when men are like, she must be on her period, so emotional, girl's on the rag. Yeah, do you know how many of you have said I love you within the first 2 weeks of talking? You know what I mean? Like, if this is a competition, like, it's time for you to sit down.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, you'll witness two stories filled with drama and hilarious moments. First, we'll see how a Karen threatens a man, saying her husband will harm him if he doesn't give up a parking spot. Then, you'll enjoy a chaotic and funny wedding story that turned into a complete disaster. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming to hit 150,000 subscribers before March, and with your support, we can make it happen. Don't forget to leave us your comments and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get started.
I have a super important dating question for everybody that I need you to weigh in on, because I have asked all of my friends and everyone has wildly different answers, and this would be really helpful to understand. So at what point should you offer to or expect to split the bill? Right? Like, I have been on several dates with this guy and he insists on paying every single time. Like, I have offered, I've said, hey, like, why don't we split this? Or, hey, why don't I grab drinks at the next bar? And he refuses to let me. And trust me, I'm not complaining. It is a very, very nice thing that he's doing. But at some point, don't you think that it like, we should do that? It seems like such a fiscal burden on somebody to always pay. And I asked him, I was like, you know, hey, at what point are you going to let me split the bill with you? He said, never. Like what? So please let me know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like I've been dating for long enough that I should understand this by now, but I don't.
She's probably dating an older man, maybe in his 40s or older. I'll be honest. This whole splitting the bill thing is something that's come up in recent years due to how the economy is. But back in the day, the man, especially on the first date, would always pay. When the relationship got more serious, it was normal for the woman to contribute. However, this woman seems like a typical case of the strong, independent woman. That clashes with her narrative. She's probably feeling a bit out of place dating a masculine man who treats her with preference. I've met women who've never had a good date with a man who has high masculine polarity. They're surprised by something as simple as someone holding the door open for them. It just goes to show how much times have changed. What do you think?
Why are you taking pictures of me for? You're right there, love. What? How can we taking pictures of me?
You're not supposed to be parked here. This is my parking space.
No, you can park anywhere you want, love. I live here.
No, there's lots of other spaces for you to park in. No, I've been parking in this space for the past 10 years. I live here.
So do I.
Well, this is still my space.
Okay.
So you can use one of those.
Yeah, but so can you.
Excuse me. I mean, do you know who my boyfriend is?
Is your boyfriend?
Do you have any idea who my boyfriend is?
Who is your boyfriend?
He's Kyle Smith. Why are you laughing? That's so disrespectful. You obviously don't know him.
Kyle. Who's Kyle?
He is the Kyle Smith. And if you don't move from my parking space...
What? Is that Kyle over there?
If you don't move from here, okay, he is going to come down here and make you move. If you know what's good for you,
Kyle,
you're not going to let him do that.
What's Kyle going to do? What's Kyle going to do?
You obviously don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I do know what I'm talking about. I don't even know who Kyle
the
is.
Kyle.
Stop it. Get some help.
Careful if her husband is related to Will Smith's simp. I'm not afraid. It's funny because it seems like almost every man in this life has had some kind of issue with a crazy Karen. In this case, ma'am, your apartment is in another building, and you're parking in a spot that doesn't belong to you. And the worst part is, you still feel entitled to it. But let's continue.
Yes. Sorry, love. All right.
There's only one. The Kyle Smith, my
love.
boyfriend. And if you can see me arguing with you here, he's going to come down and smash it at the very, very least.
Kyle, love.
Don't call me love.
Why?
Because that's disrespectful.
All right.
And look, you're a stranger.
Okay.
My boyfriend calls me love.
All right, well,
darling,
let's for Kyle.
babe, whatever.
Okay,
you
let's
don't.
for Kyle, love. All right, love.
No, don't call me love. Just move your 2-bit car over there and get out of my space. Because I've parked here for the past 10 years.
Okay, but
you
parked
haven't
here now.
been here for 10 years.
Yeah, no, I've not been in the
Exactly. So move your car. This is my space.
Is it your space or is it Carl's place?
It's my space.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
My boyfriend.
Okay, I don't want your boyfriend. Yeah,
Kyle Smith. Okay? He brought you and parked his car here because he knows it's my space.
Kyle. Little boy Kyle.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
absolutely. Well, I'm glad you admitted it.
Well, I don't know who Kyle is.
You don't know who Kyle Smith is. You don't even know what your own name is.
Well, obviously I know what my name is, love. I just don't know who Kyle is.
I don't believe you actually don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is, love. Who is he, love? Is he a famous dart player?
I mean, I'm...
Does he work for Greg's? I don't know who he is.
Oh, my God. He won't believe it either when I tell him.
Well, tell him what?
Do me a favour.
Is he a dart player, love? Does he play darts?
He's a professional. You don't want to know what odds. All right?
Professional boy Kyle.
No, you don't want to know what is a professional of. Just know, for your own safety,
For my own safety, yeah.
he
Kyle,
is
yeah.
the
Kyle Smith.
Kyle Smith. Move your car, okay?
Or else what, Kyle's going to come here and...
Oh, yeah, he is, and I'm just going to go get him.
Go
Okay?
get
By
him,
the
love.
time I come back with him, you better be moved from here.
Or else what? What's his name again?
Watch my mouth. Watch my lips. The Kyle Smith.
Hey, bro. What? Oh, my God!
Kyle Smith, Agent 007. Watch out, brothers, because if you run into a Karen, Kyle Smith will show up with his mysterious job to defend her. Sometimes you just have to hear the most ridiculous things. That said, I'll give her some credit. At least she trusts her husband to stand up for her. So, there you have it, brothers. Beware of Kyle Smith, Agent 007.
Okay, part 2 of the craziest and most expensive wedding I've ever been in. Recap, I showed her the wedding dress I would have loved to have. She mocked me for it and then bought it right from under me. I said nothing. I was really close to her, fiance at that time before I had been close to her, and so I was just excited for them. She starts talking to me about the date, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what date we should have. And she asks me, do you have a date in mind? Because again, my boyfriend and I were talking pretty seriously about getting married. I mentioned that June either 21st or 22nd was probably going to be our date. I've always wanted to get married in June because of 7 brides for 7 brothers, and June 21st, 22nd is when we started dating when we were in high school together, and I just thought that would be really sweet. Again, she kind of mocks the decision and says, oh, wow, yeah, I would never want to get married in June. I feel like it'll be too hot, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I totally understand. You should pick whatever date you feel most comfortable with. We get our invites, and lo and behold, June 22nd. And super weird, and I don't know how to stick up for myself, so I was just like, okay, this is great. The dresses she wanted us all to buy, I don't mind paying for my own bridesmaid dress, because they were more expensive than pretty much any other bridesmaid's dress I've ever bought. And they were giving everybody rashes, which her future sister-in-laws mentioned, hey, this might not be the greatest thing, we've tried it on and gave us a rash. She doesn't budge and said it's fine, everyone still gets them. I've never minded. I've worn a lot of really ugly bridesmaid's dresses, and I don't care because it's not my day, whatever. So it definitely hurt, and it was definitely bad. So then I just asked her about hair and makeup and what, if she has an idea for hair or if she cares, whatever. She literally said, I want everyone to have their hair up because I want to have the prettiest hair on my wedding day. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's okay. But she kept harping on that, she didn't want anyone to look beautiful on her wedding day, and I was like, okay. Then the bridal shower comes around, and she sends out this message to all of us saying, guys, I really don't understand why you haven't pitched in for this. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were supposed to. She created this whole sob story where she was having to pay for everything herself, and we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, we'll do whatever we can. Come to find out, her in-laws paid for the whole thing. They threw her this amazing bridal shower, paid for all the food, all the decorations, all of the favors, all of the games, all of it. And I was like, I'm so confused why we pitched in for this. So then she sends out another message saying guys, I'm having to pay for all of the wedding stuff myself. I can't afford any of it. By this point, I'm wising up and I'm like, and also I'm running out of money. So I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I don't have anything more I can give you. She was pissed, but I didn't know what else to do. Found out later she used all that money to just go on a little mini shopping spree for herself. And I'm so sorry to do this again, but I have to do a part 3.
Brothers, remember, women don't have friends, they have competition. As we all know, a woman's worst enemy is another woman. In every group of friends, there's always that one who wants to outshine the rest, the one who's always trying to be the smartest. She's the one who doesn't think for herself and takes advantage of everything, gathering information to use it for her benefit, manipulating others, and, like in this case, even coming up with questionable excuses to get money. Now imagine this. If she does this to her own friends, what wouldn't she do to her husband? But let's move on, because this wedding is getting more and more interesting.
Okay, part 3 of the worst wedding I've ever been a part of. Bridesmaids have paid for our entire outfit. We've paid now for her bridal shower, and now we've even paid for part of her wedding. None of which actually went to those things. She just wanted to be able to shop. Tells us up front that she expects us to have multiple presents for her bachelorette party, and to provide food. I did, because I didn't know what else to do. By this point, I've already spent way more than I ever had for any other wedding and any wedding since. And I'm like, okay, I am like literally out of money at this point. I have nothing more to give. The bachelorette party, like the week before, she says, oh, by the way, everyone needs to pay to get their hair and makeup done. It's like, I literally can't pay for that. She wanted very specific nails, hair, makeup, outfits. Like, I've spent so much money on this, like I can't spend anymore. Pissed at me, but I was like, look, I promise, like my hair will still be up, like I can do everything you want me to do. The whole time getting ready the day of the wedding, she was just like in such a pissy mood. You'd never think this was her wedding day. You'd think she was like going off to war or something. June 22nd, the middle of the afternoon, so hot. Heels, which is totally fine. It was an outdoor wedding, and it was about a 2.5-hour ceremony. No shade or fans or anything. It was really rough. And this is where I personally think it just gets funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. We see one of her bridesmaids, I think it was her cousin, starting to like sway back and forth. And everyone's like, oh my God, like she's about to pass out. Some people who are in the front row, super smart, they're like, hey, hon, like come sit down really quick. It'll be fine. This girl turns around in the middle of the ceremony and glares at her like the worst glare I've ever seen. We were all ready to pass out by the end of this. It was so uncomfortable. But afterwards, when we walked back, the bride literally pulls her cousin aside and starts screaming at her, talking about how she ruined her wedding. Why couldn't you just keep it together? This is mine. And I was like, I just can't anymore. Like, this is ridiculous. The toasts were really satisfying because it was so petty, dude. All the speeches were like, groom, like you have made such an impact in my life. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for being the person you are. Then they'd be like, and bride, well, I never really got along with you, but this guy's really great, so I hope you treat him well. It's like all of them were like, side note, I got so many compliments on my hair that day. Like, thanks, I did it myself. All the bridesmaids were like, yeah, we kind of wish you had done our hair too. It was crazy. I don't talk to her anymore. Hopefully she's chilled out and whatever. Fortunately, I still love weddings, so that didn't dampen it for me.
It's funny because it's true.
On the wedding day, only one person gets married for love, the man. The woman does it for a lifestyle. Did you know that in the United States, there's a 22% divorce rate among newlyweds within the first few years of marriage? This happens especially when weddings turn into a disaster. Women transform on that day, which is understandable to a certain extent, since it can be special for them. But many seem more excited about the dress and the party than about building a happy life together. Big weddings, with too many people involved, become more of a stressful event than a happy day. Instead of enjoying it, everyone just wants to get out of there as quickly as possible. What do you think about this story? We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. Do you think many women prioritize the wedding party over the real commitment of marriage? Is it fair that, in some cases, the costs of a wedding fall so heavily on the bridesmaids and guests? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.